Burr does not know how to start a podcast. It's crazy to me how Opie-esque this is.
Hey, what's going on? It's Bill Burr, and it's time for the Monday Morning Podcast for Monday. Fucking November 10th, 2025. What's going on? How are ya? How's it going? What's going on in your world? What's going on in your world? I'm fucking watching a little bit of NFL football.
I was waiting for the, why do you talk that way? What's he doing? Yeah, why is he doing this thing where it's so singy-songy? Can you believe it's the podcast? Relax, buddy. He doesn't do that throughout the show, obviously. He gets a little sing-songy from time to time. But it's just a really awkward way to start the show. And you would think, he's been doing it for over a decade, you would think he'd be better at this by now.
Well, here's what I picked up, that he does start his show like this, and he has always done it in a kind of free-form, lighthearted way. It was similar to Opie, always, but now that he is masking anger, pain, and resentment, it sounds like Opie. Like he always laughed in the beginning, but now when he does, it's pushing, and it sounds like he's hiding something. So it's very Opie-like, and we're just picking up on it.
There's an undercurrent that's very interesting to notice, because from time to time he slips and he starts complaining about the things that are bothering him. And it's still this blowback from the Riyadh Comedy Festival. He can't believe that people haven't just gone along with him and forgiven him and moved on. He's convinced himself that people actually don't dislike him, that it's just bots that some guy programmed to make it look like people dislike him. He repeats it over and over again. He's really having a hard time coming to terms with this. His views are down substantially. When I was pulling clips yesterday of this show, this episode that came out Monday morning had 7,700 views on it. He's got 1 million subs. He's a very popular guy. He's one of the most popular comedians in the world. And his podcast he's been doing for over a decade has 7,700 views on it on YouTube. And then you go to the comment section and it's brutal. No one there is enjoying the program. Everyone's annoyed with this guy. And so I do think that he's trying to mask that and trying to act like everything's cool. I'm not worried about it at all, with all of this fake laughter, all this over the top, cracking himself up.
The Arizona Cardinals, the all-white uniform, is the shit. That takes me back to when they were the St. Louis Cardinals with Mel Gray, O.J. Anderson, Jim Hart, Neil Lomax, Dan Dierdorf. That was my favorite time in Dan Dierdorf's career, when he played football, because you couldn't hear him talking.
See, that was a joke about how Dan Dierdorf was a color analyst on television for a long time, covering these football games. So Bill didn't care for that. He liked it better when he wasn't talking.
It's not until the fake laughter starts that you realize how bad it is, like you've said, to podcast alone.
Yeah.
It becomes very apparent when that happens.
I think Bill might be the worst at it. And I have reasons for thinking that. But he's coming up with these premises as he's going on through his show that aren't that interesting. He's talking about how guys who play on the line are perceived as dumb in football. So he's talking about like the shit talking that goes down on the football field.
You know, when some guy crossed the line, he's like, I'm going to fucking run you over. Well, yeah. I mean, what else you going to do? Get a job as an accountant, you dumb fuck?
I've been saying Opie, but that was Stuttering John.
Dumb fuck.
You dumb fuck. He even did that.
Yeah.
The Muttley. What are you going to do? Get a job as an accountant?
It's not that funny.
Are accountants the smartest people in the world? I don't think so, but all right, whatever. I'm not sure what that joke is. But he told that joke that caught him off guard. So many times he just tickles himself. It's amazing how this happens. I could talk into a microphone for 3 hours and never say something that I'm just like, holy shit, I just said that? Can you believe it? Is everyone else believing this? But not only is he tickled by this, but he decides that this could be his next gig.
can guarantee you that has never been said on a football field, but that would be fantastic. Hey, any offensive linemen out there? I would love to write some jokes for you.
There you go. There's the job. The offensive linemen, they need some witty comebacks on the football field. Hey, guys, no prizes today. Bill Burr is here with some funny quips. I want y'all to try out against the Steelers today. You guys ready for this?
Is Bill Burr about to list his credits?
I think so. I think that's what's coming up next. He actually, that's funny you say that, because the next part of this is him talking about how he wrote for award shows, and he really enjoyed when the presenter had to read his joke and see if they told it right and if it got a reaction and stuff. So yeah, kind of. He kind of does go through his credits here. Then he goes on this long rant about the Pittsburgh Penguins, the NHL team. He's not a fan of them. And he finishes up with this.
Other than that, I got no beef with him. Tackle the fucking guy.
Okay. So not only is he cracking himself up, but he's watching a football game while he's podcasting. I, for some reason, assumed that. I know what you're going to say, Adam. Shut up.
Unacceptable.
Shut the fuck up, Adam. Shut up. I know what you're going to say. I assumed that Bill was getting up on Monday mornings and recording a podcast. I don't know why I thought that. He's actually recording it Sunday afternoon. And he can't be bothered to spend an hour in the studio recording a podcast. He's just watching football.
What an asshole.
Hold on, worse than that, Adam.
Worse than the festival is this. This is bad. This
now,
is rude.
Hold on a second. There have been times when I've watched some sporting events while doing the show. That's
did not notice.
The Cubs are in the playoffs or the Sabres are on a 2-game winning streak, whatever the reason is. What Bill is watching, because he explains this to us, is he's watching the Seahawks play the Cardinals. And I guess he has some money on the Seahawks. Mm-hmm. The Seahawks are up 38-7 after the first half. This game is over. There's no reason to invest. He's a New England Patriots fan. There's no reason to care about this. If he has a bet on it, he's won his bet. So it's not an interesting game at all. So very easy to be like, oh, good, I can turn this off and do my podcast. He's got some stories to tell us. But no. He's constantly distracted throughout this entire show that he does.
I tell you, that separates Mike Vrabel, I feel, from like 98%. That's a false start. What the fuck? Sorry. Cardinals driving. I should stay on for this whole half if they come back. Anyway.
So this is a thing that's going on throughout the podcast where he's just being distracted by the television and then yelling out things that are happening. This doesn't come out until Monday morning. Anyone who's interested in this game knows what happened. They watched it. They watched highlights. They read about it. So this is not good content for anyone involved. And I would think a guy like Bill Burr would recognize this because he's kind of on the hot seat right now. Fewer people are listening to his show, but a lot more people are tuning in to be like, fuck this guy. Is he bringing up Riyadh anymore? Is he ever going to actually talk about this and address things that he's being criticized for? Is he going to continue to say it's the bots and that he doesn't deserve any of this criticism? So the haters, I would say, are tuning in. And what does he do? He gets distracted watching football for long periods of time.
I'll tell you, I don't even know what I'm talking about right now because I just had my second cup of coffee and that's an incomplete pass, baby. Incomplete pass. There you go. What is it now? 3rd and goal. Yeah, I had a couple of, Jesus Christ, I'm surprised they didn't call that. Where was his hand? No, that was fine. What is the rule? You can't have it on his hip and pull him around. He was kind of doing that. I don't know. Why the fuck would you run it there?
Okay,
it was
Bill, we're going to go.
Goal, and they were like on their own 7-yard lines, and they ran it up the gut. I don't know. That was fucking bizarre. Anyway, I know I have the TV on. I'm getting distracted here.
Oh, you do know that.
That wasn't a supercut. That was all one.
That was just one clip, 60 seconds of him just staring at the TV and going, I wouldn't have ran that play. Wait, was that holding? They didn't call it. Well, they could have called it.
He's going to start arguing with himself.
I know Adam thinks I'm a hypocrite. He's calling me out for this. But could you imagine if I was in the minutia of the Cubs game where I'm watching it and going like, see, he says it's outside, man. I think that touched the strike zone right there. Can we see a replay on that? Yeah, I knew it. That should have been called a strike on there. I get excited when a run is scored or something, and we move on immediately. But Bill is just completely entranced by this
you
game.
correctly pointed out that it has nothing to do with the nature of the game or how high stakes it is. It's just the ignoring of the people around you or your audience that's so rude and unforgivable.
So I picked up on something that Bill is doing throughout this episode, and listen closely, because he keeps getting distracted.
Anyway, I know I have the TV on. I'm getting distracted here. The fuck was I talking about? Nothing important. Anyway, I had a quick acting gig. I'm back in L.A.
So I picked up on something. I haven't done this in a long time, but I have put together a supercut for us because this is what Bill Burr's podcast is. In November of 2025 is just this guy distracting himself and then trying to get back on track with this crutch word.
Anyway. Anyway. So anyway. Anyway.
28 times in a 60-minute long podcast, he says, anyway. I'm telling you, he might be the worst podcaster out there right now. Especially of the big names. Especially if the guy's been doing it for this long with the sponsorship deals that he has and everything. This is garbage.
I noticed he's only down to 4 fonts. I think he was listening to Adam.
That is impressive, yes. Doesn't look as chaotic as it did.
Why do you think he believes Pete Davidson is getting a pass and can joke about it publicly, and he's not?
I think that's what he's wrestling with. He's so insulated in this bubble, because I was talking about this with Drew yesterday on his show, and Drew's like, doesn't he have other friends who are comics that he can talk to about this? And they're like, hey, sit him down and be like, Bill, this is what you're doing wrong. I think he's beyond that. I don't think he's hanging with his old comic buddies because, almost everyone else, there's a couple exceptions, almost everyone else who performed at this Riyadh Comedy Festival, the fans of them have forgiven them and moved on. And Bill, they are still, and you know, there's a lot of good reasons for that. The way Bill has handled this, all the things that Bill has said leading up to taking that gig. You know, he goes back to complaining about comics calling out other comics on podcasts and stuff. We talked about this before. This is really bothering him.
2 things that blow my mind. Comedians trashing other comedians in specials and on podcasts, just the cannibalism of that. And then also watching like states hating other states. It's like, did we learn anything? Have we learned anything? I just don't understand it. All right, touchdown fucking Cardinals.
Bill is very hurt that other comics are calling him out or even talking about him. He's very upset about this. Well, our buddy Unique pointed out that he was brought up on a recent episode of the Joe Rogan Experience, and Joe Rogan is now weighing in on Bill performing at the Riyadh Comedy Festival.
He's an interesting guy. I'm surprised you didn't go to Dubai.
Me? No. You mean Saudi Arabia?
Saudi Arabia. Dubai.
Bro, I don't even go to San Francisco.
I know. I don't even go to Glendale. Right?
Yeah, you think I'm going to go to... No. I think if you chase money when you have money, then money owns you.
Yeah.
My time is what's valuable to me. And also, I'm not down with that whole thing.
No.
There's definitely a whitewashing. You're up. Schultz has a great argument. You're going to see your fans. Like, just because this is put on by a government that does bad things or has done bad things, guess what? Your government does bad things too, and has.
So even Joe Rogan is going, yeah, this is not a good look. And there's no reason why a guy like Bill Burr, who's a very wealthy man, needed to take this gig. Again, working for billionaires, the people that he always hates on, nonstop on the show. And it just seems very hypocritical for this. And Joe makes a good point, man. If you got all the money in the world and you're still chasing money and trading in your values for money, then what are you doing? What is money doing for you at that point? It can't be making you happier. I don't think Bill's all that happy with it right now.
What game was Joe Rogan watching?
Yeah, it's funny. Joe Rogan never mentioned a score or what the down and distance was. It's crazy how that works.
Interesting.
So let's get back to Bill Burr and his Opie-isms, because he was just up in another city up north shooting some acting work he was doing.
But I was up in Vancouver, Canada, and now it's 4th and goal. Okay, now it's 4th and goal.
I mean, this is nonstop throughout the podcast. Vancouver. Oh, that makes it funny. Now you're interesting again because you said something sing-songy. Good stuff. His wife went with him to Vancouver, and try to follow this conversation. He's telling a little anecdote of him and his wife walking down the street.
My lovely wife came up because she's just the best. She came up. We had an awesome time when I wasn't working, and she was walking down the street going like, "Why the fuck didn't you run it in? It's fucking wide open. Why didn't you just run it in?" Anyway,
that's what his wife said.
What was she talking about?
Fuck, did you just run it
Is that
in?
how she talks to you? You let her talk to you like that?
Yeah, that seems kind of odd that she would do that. So he tells this whole story about being up there with his wife, and they walk down this one street, and there's someone smoking crack in broad daylight in Vancouver. And this is his hot take on that.
They don't criminalize doing drugs. They view it as a disease. So they don't arrest you for doing that. They try to get you help. She goes, yeah. And I go, yeah. So that's what that looks like.
What was funny about that?
They're suffering. They're suffering, and
he needs a Ron the Waiter.
He needs someone to bounce things off of. Yeah. This show is horrible. And it's one thing for him to sit there and crack himself up and say, Vancouver. But the way he's getting distracted by everything that's going on TV, and he's getting mad about shit.
What the fuck was that? After a goal line stand, what do you do to reward your defense? You come out and you throw a fucking interception to... Oh, you motherfucker. Actually did great this week. I'll get back to the drug. Oh, it hit a helmet. My fault.
We're not watching the game with you, idiot. What part of this... If this was a live stream... and I was watching the game with them, that'd be one thing. I'll watch a football game with Bill Burr, I guess. You know? Bill's got their asses kicked by the Dolphins. Might as well get more depressed. What else am I going to do? But no, we can't even see what he's looking at. And he's arguing with things. And that one was crazy because he was actually complaining about something that would have gone against his bet. He's forgotten what he's even rooting for on this.
Right.
He's just yelling at the TV. He just has nothing to talk about.
Does he think this makes him relatable? Maybe?
That's a good question. It's not. It doesn't. It's no one likes to watch people watch football if they're not interested in it. Well, even when they are.
I think what Bill Burr and Opie and John all have in common is they're trying to not talk about something that they really want to talk about.
Yes.
very frustrating and it makes everything miserable.
Bill Burr has even said that. He's like, I wish I could talk about this thing. It's like, yeah, go for it. No one's stopping you. Literally no one is stopping you. That acting gig in Vancouver wasn't going to fire you because you spoke your mind.
I mean, he pointed out those homeless people. Is he going to say anything about it? Does he have any thoughts, any jokes or something?
No, he just goes, if you go conservative, you go all the way this way, and you put him in jail. And then you go liberal, you go all the way this way, and you give him needles.
I didn't know that.
So then he decides, like, all right, I'm off the rails here. Maybe I should check my notes and see what else I wanted to talk about.
What else? Was there anything else? Yeah, I found like a bunch of good coffee shops when I was up there in Vancouver, and then also I'm psyched to get back because now I'm done for the year. I don't have anything else really to do.
Good stuff.
Yeah, we can tell.
He literally talks about coffee shops, but not in a way that's compelling or interesting. There's this place I found in Vancouver. If you're ever there, nothing like that. Just like, yeah, we found some good coffee shops. Coffee was good. Jesus Christ. You're daring people to listen to this show in its entirety. Who's still tuned in on this? There's so much out there to listen to. Then he's talking about playing drums and learning songs. That's one of his hobbies. And this clip just includes all of the hits for us.
I finally just Googled the same way I Googled how to forgive people. Which, like I said, I can't wait to see just that Google alone, how much that's going to change the type of ads that are sent my way. You fucking... The fucking holding call. Jesus fucking Christ. Does anything kill a drive like a fucking holding call?
This show is insane.
Yeah.
I was shocked by it. I'm like, let me check it on Bill Burr. It's been interesting since the fallout. I'm curious if he's going to put extra effort in and try to get back on his feet or something. He has phoned this in to a degree unfathomable. I'm shocked.
It is infuriating, but it also is the only time he sounds like he's being real about anything.
Yeah, he likes watching football.
Yeah.
Which is great. Do that on your time. I like watching football too.
I couldn't agree more.
It's great. I don't podcast during the Bills game, Adam. Stop shaking your head at me. I can't help the schedule of playoffs when the Cubs are in for the first time in 5 years.
No, you can help your focus. You can shift that. What I'm surprised at is how come he thinks that it's okay, like Chad Zumach, to just openly talk about how you don't want to be doing the show you're at.
Yeah.
Why would we want to hear that?
Bert Kreischer does the same thing. Mm-hmm. We're just like, it wouldn't it be great if we didn't have to podcast anymore. He's talking to Tom Segura. Wouldn't that be awesome? It's like, so you're just in a prison? It's like Aaron Immel. So you just created a prison for yourself? You're self-employed, idiot. You don't have to do anything.
And we don't have to listen.
Right, which is the beauty, but I do. So, of course, Bill can't help it. He gets off on what's really on his mind, what he's really thinking about. So unless you think that we're just speculating that all this stuff is going on in the back of Bill's head and we don't know what's actually going on. Oh no, it comes to the surface as it always does.
Yeah, I have come to the conclusion that the internet is fucking evil. And it's how they, not like on purpose. It's just negative controversy and people screaming and yelling at each other. It's the only way to get views because there's just so much shit. How are we going to stand out? Do something positive and be nice to people? No one wants to see that. That's not entertaining.
I like when you see this where someone flips and they're beloved and they can do no wrong and everyone loves everything they're doing. And then all of a sudden they have a misstep and people criticize them and they're floored by it. Like, you didn't know this was happening to Brendan Schaub and Bert Kreischer. You used to do a podcast with Bert Kreischer. You didn't know that there's tons of people. All of a sudden, Bill's like, this internet thing, holy shit, these people are negative. What the fuck? There's people criticizing people out here. Can you believe that? It's been going on. It's just humans. The internet's just humans.
That's also one of the best things about the internet. It's the great leveling of the playing field. You know, I get to hear Opie complain about the same things that Karmic X talks about, who was a chatter, and now that took 6 months of streaming for him to just block everyone, and he's having the same process, except he's Bill Burr, and he's still letting us in on it. It's fascinating.
He can't help himself. Like he's obviously very upset. Like this has emotionally, he's not well because it keeps coming up. He keeps talking about how mean everyone is on the internet.
So I don't know. Other than people like fucking doing crazy tricks on skateboards or doing shit athletically or musically, it's just kind of like human beings being mean to each other. So I'm trying to avoid it.
Yeah. Well, don't read the comment section. That'd be my advice.
For starters.
But that is so much of a, if I don't laugh, I'll cry right there.
Yeah.
So they're just mean to each other.
I missed.
So sad.
I didn't get it. We're allowed to watch skateboards, music, and penguins. What was it?
Athletic endeavors,
Athletic,
I believe,
okay.
was the other one. Yeah.
I don't want to fuck that up. What
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
watching here is, just like all of our favorite pals, somebody doing a show against their will. The
Yes.
only reason they're doing the show is because then the haters win.
Well,
if he stops.
also, I think because Bill has a lot of sponsors, probably with contracts and things. So
Oh yeah, we're not used to that. That helps a lot. Also,
He's
that will, yeah.
obligated. He's got all these ad reads, and that's steady income for him. So he's kind of obligated to do it, but he does not want to be there. He does not want to be doing this at all. And he's still, for whatever reason, blaming the bots. No one will tell him otherwise.
I don't even know what the fuck I need, but I don't need to be going around fucking upset about shit. I don't even know what it is and get myself all fucking worked up over something a fucking robot said or a bot. I really want those fucking nerds to just ask them the question, like, why do you do that shit?
I'm pausing it real quick. So that was very telling right there. It's like, I don't need to get all worked up about this stuff that wasn't even written by a person. It's written by a robot. This is what his agent or his manager or his wife or someone is telling him to soothe him. Oh, Bill, you're still reading comments again? It's not even a person. It's all AI. What are you even worried about? So now he's coming up with this idea that there's someone who's in charge of programming these bots, and the only reason why they spend time programming them is to fuck with Bill Burr.
Like, you just go around trolling your own countrymen. You can't see what that's doing to people.
No. Someone's getting their feelings hurt on the internet. That's too bad.
You people are really tearing me apart, and intentional grounding.
Yeah, right, exactly. There's a receiver in the area. What the fuck, ref? I hope they review this. So he finally does catch himself because he realizes he's spiraling, and then he's saying all the quiet parts out loud.
And then when something positive happens and people try to bring people together, then all of a sudden you give a fuck about human rights and start demonizing. Oh, how the fuck could I do that? How the fuck could you tear your own country apart? Am I ever going to let that go? Wasn't I talking about forgiveness? I think I was. All right, I'm off the rails here. I'm just babbling.
Wow.
Yeah.
Babble, babble, babble.
Babble, babble, babble.
Yes. He really is becoming Opie so bitter, and everything bothers him. And the only thing that's different is that he doesn't have a live chat to read. If Bill was doing a live stream and he was reading the chat and pulling them up periodically like Opie does, it'd be the same show.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy how bitter he's gotten.
Did you hear what he said there at the end? He's like, y'all go around living your lives, and then finally something good happens to someone.
Mm-hmm.
What was the good thing that happened? You got paid?
Yeah, that gig.
Yeah.
That's the good thing. That was just
thing.
for you. Bill, we didn't all get to enjoy that. We're not there with you. That was just you.
No, the only reason why people are upset with him is because they just want to ruin his good time. And it has nothing to do with the hypocrisy and being against everything he's always stood for.
I got the message from all the other nerds that said time to harsh his buzz. So I put on a hat and I did what I could.
Yep.